Are you guys ready? We're back at it. Let's get into it. I feel like firstly this video is about these throwaway vehicles are ruining the car market. Dealers can't sell this junk anymore. I've been thinking about this a while. All these cars just sit on the lot. No one's buying new cars. Some people are mostly, I'd say, are buying used. So who's buying all these cars to just sit on there? And I don't know. I guess maybe you could do inflation and then, but dude, it only works so far, and cars depreciate. And dude, I don't know, man.
They drop that price tag every single time. Watch some of my old videos recently. Used to be $7,500 off. Then it was $8,500. Then I think $9,000. Now we're at $10,000. That's going to continue to be the case as we teeter deeper into 2025. I assure you.
Especially some big truck too. Do you know how much gas that's using? Beautiful though. I like that red one.
And if you're the type to wear socks with Crocs, you might appreciate the 1794 edition version of this Toyota Tundra here. They're the prime examples of quality going down and price tags going up. You get less of a motor, more complexities to it. They're overdone and overpriced. Just under $80,000.
You know, I think they pushed the limits. They pushed, too far. So it's only can sling back. It's gonna slingshot back at some point.
People who buy F-150s, they don't buy an EV version of it, right? You know, the blue collar working class, they're not eagerly coming out and buying this.
I was gonna say too, this is one place where the average person is doing better, because there are people buying these crazy cars, right? But for the most part, this is on the dealerships. This is their loss, not people's loss.
Monstrosity. As new vehicle purchases are really for the upper class only. The middle class is being priced out of the segment. You can't buy a new vehicle anymore. You should never have to spend this kind of coin and have.
So what is that? 90 grand when it's all done?
To be worried that your engine isn't going to grenade itself, right? One tall tale sign that vehicle manufacturers and dealers.
That's why I'm actually glad my car's from 2013. I feel like that was right before everything started to really go to crap, man. So if I just take care of my car, I should be good, I'm really paranoid, so I always take great care of my car. But yeah, dude, this car market is something else.
Dealerships are getting desperate is when they start offering really, really nice leasing incentives on their vehicles. And we see that with the GMC Sierra 1500 in particular. And by sheer luck, I happen to have the most expensive Toyota Tacoma on this lot, right next to the least expensive. This right here is for the gentleman who talks about high school football a little bit too much. I do find it quite sad that Toyota has to slash prices $8,000 to $12,000 off in order to move this metal, or plastic, I should say.
63,000.
Most vehicle manufacturers, really all but Tesla, have lost money in their EV segment, right? They've lost money year to year. Especially the last 2 years, Ford lost $4.2 billion on their EV segment. Happen to be a millennial who didn't play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 throughout your upbringing. You may just appreciate this 2020 Ram 1500 for $42,000 over 75,000 miles. Pretty sad.
What? I would never pay for that.
As I walk through all these Santa Fe's here, all of them are high 40s and low $50,000 range. This here is as dumbed down version of it as you can get, but even then, we're $44,000. Base model, 4-door Ford Bronco. If you went through a Clay Aiken phase, you might be more interested in the Bronco Sport here. Let me remind you of how much they want for these. You can't trick yourself into believing that. These will not hold the same residual. Hey YouTube, Untamed.
That's crazy. Yeah, these cars, man, they're so overpriced for just getting the A to B. And then they add so many factors to it that it doesn't even make it worth it. And you're sitting there like, dude, why did I spend $50,000 on this car? Why did I spend $20,000? Some of these cars, man, you see even with Tesla, man, those things drop so quickly, and so it's just, I still think they're cool, but like the issues you go through, the hula hoops you have to jump through, it just doesn't make sense to get either a new car. That's what I'm saying. I almost feel like all of this is planned. I swear I feel like this is all planned so that people phase out of having cars. It's like, or phase out. It's like, I don't know, man. It's very bizarre, I'll say. But yeah, I'm going to get to the next clip. Bay Area housing, San Francisco rent prices jumped 12%. This, I used to live in Los Angeles, so I mean that's not. But I just like to keep up with it. But you know, rent prices here have gone, for me, even significantly up. I used to be paying $870. Now I'm paying $930, and this month will be the first month I'm paying $1,030. So this is probably going to be the last year I'm here, for other reasons, but yeah, things are getting expensive very quickly, and I don't think people realize what's going on.
States.
Well, and tonight's Making It in the Bay report, it's not just the Bay Area housing market that's heating up. We're also seeing a surprise jump in rental prices. We want to bring in our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman, to break things down. Lots of people considering renting instead.
Yeah, it's true, Jessica. Rents are up. Big cities are getting hit especially hard, including here in the Bay Area. And across the country, rental prices have been moving higher. Let's look at the latest numbers. These are from Rent Tracker Zumper. New York City rents still leading the pack by a mile. This is a very hot topic, by the way.
That is an insane amount for any price to jump, even yearly. Like, that just doesn't make sense, and honestly, it's crazy. I don't know, something's gonna have to change, because this isn't working.
For those running in the primary election last night. Here at home, San Francisco rising more than 12% from this time last year. San Jose also higher. Among the takeaways from all this, lots of people here, especially young people, telling us they're choosing to rent even with higher prices because it's still more accessible than trying to make a down payment on a home.
With current interest rates still pretty high, it's hard to justify that and putting down so much of a down payment, and especially with younger people, millennials, including myself.
Also, I feel like once you put the down payment on a home, then what if something goes out, right? What if the AC goes out? What if whatever breaks down? You're on the hook for that. Whereas you don't have to worry about that if you're just paying rent, you know? Until I be ready, I would just wait.
I think lifestyle and liquidity really matters. So at this point in my life, and I'm sure a lot of other young professionals as well, would rather invest in other areas like the stock market.
This is interesting, Jessica. In order to have a good lifestyle, you can't buy a home here if you're a young person. Like, that's where we are in this whole housing price thing. Those prices, by the way, for the median one bedroom.
Yeah, that's really steep. Plus, you got to pay property taxes. You got to do the upkeep. There's all that other stuff that comes with buying a home and keeping a home. So we've seen home prices kind of stabilize, right? More houses are going on the market. But what about apartments? Is it easy to find an apartment, or is it hard to find an apartment?
It really goes city by city and region by region. Some regions are starting to build more apartments. In parts of the East Bay, like Dublin, we're starting to see more apartments, more inventory on the market, and prices have actually stayed steady, if not dipped, for people. Great news for young people living out there because they can have that quality of life and still manage to save a little money. As you saw, though, for some of the bigger cities like San Francisco and San Jose, not enough in it.
Yeah, there's too much going on to. I mean, it's just absurd. I don't know what we're gonna do, but that's kind of what we're at this point. Honestly, unfortunately. Let me check out the next clip. So he says the Fed rate cut cycle is about to begin. Home prediction for 25-26. Now, I actually am going to purchase a home when everything clears up. That is part of my plan. Just so I can get away from rent prices, but I'm going to buy a really cheap home so that I don't have to really pay much at all. My whole goal is to be free. Right? So I may have a smaller home, but I want to be more free. That's my plan. But I don't know. Let's say I don't know what the average median home is. Let's say, I'm going to say in 2026, it'll probably be up somewhere around maybe 15%, which would be crazy, I feel like, from its current point right now.
have a big impact on the economy and housing market. In this video, I'm going to give you my projections for where interest rates are heading over the next year and what this is going to do to home values. So the current short-term Fed funds rate is around 4.3% heading into July 2025, and this orange line reflects its projected path over the next year, with market predictions suggesting that the Fed might cut interest rates by over 100 basis points over the next year, down to 3.1%. Now, the reason the Fed is forecast to do this is because inflation has slowed to 2.4%, while the US labor market is beginning to show some signs of stress, with the recent ADP payrolls report showing 33,000 job losses in June 2025. And so because of that, the Fed is now...
See, but this must have been a couple days ago, because I was just talking about how they had... Oh, this was a day ago. Well, they were saying they had increased jobs in, I don't know, the numbers are all fake anyways.
More focused on preventing job losses in the economy, which is likely to mean interest rate cuts. Now, according to the CME Fed Watch tool, the Fed is expected to keep interest rates at 4.25 to 4.5% in their next meeting in July. However, these rate cuts are then expected to start in September and then continue in each subsequent month, with 3 rate cuts expected by the end of December 2025 and 4 to 5 cuts expected by June 2026. Now, there is one thing worth talking about here, folks, and that's who the Fed chair is even going to be a year from now. Because a year from now, Jerome Powell's term runs out. Jerome Powell is the current chair of the Federal Reserve.
Finally. But yeah, I mean, it's not like they're gonna put somebody in there that's gonna do better. I don't believe in any side, so I don't know, man. I don't even know why all this information. The fact that we put so much information, energy behind it is crazy because we know it's rigged. So, in best bet, I just feel like just don't listen to what they say.
He has been since 2018. He will not be after 2026 because it seems like Donald Trump wants to replace him.
Oh, were you waiting for that box to hit me? I was waiting for you to treat your ass.
And according to Reuters, Trump came out and recently said that he wants interest rates cut to 1% and would love if Powell resigned. With CNN reporting that Trump has actually recently sent a handwritten letter to Powell demanding ultra-low interest rates. And this is actually a picture of the letter, everyone. It's pretty interesting. It has different countries around the world with independent central banks, and it shows what...
Dude, our president is so petty.
Their current policy rates are compared to America. So America's current short-term policy rate is 4.5%. You can see that's on the higher end, at least of the countries on this list. For sure, definitely. You can see Canada is actually at 2.75%. Trump, I guess, is saying that we should be in the 0 to 2% range on interest rates. Now, the prediction markets don't think that we'll actually see 0 to 2% interest rates. As I said in the beginning, they think it's more likely that we see a 3% interest rate in a year, which would be 4 or 5 rate cuts. And the question is, if we see 4 or 5 rate cuts, what is that going to do to the economy and housing market? Is that something that's actually going to end up re-stimulating demand in the economy and housing market? Well, I'm going to attack those questions one by one, because you guys out there as home buyers, investors, sellers, or people who just want to understand the market, very important that you understand.
I think it's honestly just going to depend. Obviously every house isn't going to go up, but I think we can bet that most of them will, and I just think the better the location, the better, I don't feel like it's anything crazy. But I do think, I'm unsure about the rate cuts, how that's going to work.
What's going to happen with these interest rates, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I see a lot of people already getting out there on YouTube and Instagram trying to say that rate cuts are going to bring massive demand back to the market. They say rate cuts are going to cause the biggest bubble of all time. But is that really true, everyone? Because let's not forget, the Fed already started cutting rates about 9 months ago. We had interest rates at 5.3% in August 2024, and then the Fed cut them a full 100 basis points to 4.3%. Let's not forget this. So interest rates have already been cut by 100 basis points. We should ask ourselves the question, what did that interest rate cut at the end of 2024 do for the housing market? What did it do for the economy? And the answer is not a whole lot. Mortgage rates actually ended up going up after those interest rate cuts, and there's been no meaningful bounce back in home buyer demand.
we need more free money. Honestly, no, it's funny. Like, we say free money, but really this is just money they literally have siphoned up from us. People don't have money like they used to. It's not really shocking. And then they just manipulate it however they need to. And then they change the perception of everything. It's like, just because you see something doesn't mean everybody believes that. They just need like to put the facade of everyone believes that everything's crashing or everything's I mean, that's why I said you can't win. Can't win in this one, man. Let's get to the next clip. This is this guy, Big Ward, the genius. We've been programmed to not care. I think they have been desensitizing us. Everything we do now, it's just, there's no fun to it. We don't enjoy anything. I think they're trying to like breed out happiness. And I know that sounds weird. Well, I guess I may not know that, but it's I feel like they don't want people to be happy anymore. They're trying to get rid of certain things like emotions. It's really bizarre, but I really think they're trying to get people to have little to no emotion for anything anymore. I don't know what that plan is for, but I just don't get it. But that's what I feel. So we're going to hear him out.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Today is still Sunday, July 6th, 2025, back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I want to talk about something I just experienced. And I'm going to tell you something I just did. It is not to toot my own horn, because I may have spent a total of $15 helping two people. I was in Rouse's. First, let me say this. We hear a lot of videos, a lot of topics, a lot of platforms, a lot of people talking about nobody cares anymore. We're living in a world, a heartless world that don't care. Nobody cares about nobody.
Every man for himself. Honestly, it's sad, man. It's sad, but it's the truth. You can't even win by yourself. But I realize that too. Sometimes you gotta stop trying to pull everybody up, man. I had to accept some people were holding me back. It's a shame, but it's the truth. And the sooner you like accept it, you can at least have a chance.
Have we ever wondered, how did it get like that? Was it always like that? Was it meant to be like that? What happened? What got it to where so many people don't care? Nobody cares. We all care for ourselves, and some of us don't even care for ourselves. What happened? What got it like that? We all hear it being said. So I was just in the grocery store. And there was a young lady buying baby food, the little baby jars of baby food. And when he rung it up, it was $8.14. $8.14. Other people standing around the line, what have you, few men, few women. And the lady was digging all through her purse. She probably, I say lady, young lady. She's about 25, 26 years old. Digging all around through her purse. Hold on, she said, I'll be right back, I'm gonna go to the car. And she came back in and was going to put the food back, so she couldn't find her money. $8.14. So as she was walking out the door, I called and said, hold up. And she looked around, I said, man, give her that, put it on mine. And she went to thanking me in a way what became quite embarrassing, to be honest with you. Like I had saved her life for $8.14.
A lot of people don't have it anymore, man. People are really on their last. And that's why you have to just be careful. You know, you can't just be living life It's okay to live life, but you gotta be planning because things are about to hit the fan.
I remember $8.14. I said, no, don't need to do that. Don't make a scene. It's no big deal. It happens. She took it and left. Now, I can't count nobody else's pockets. Because other people in line might have been struggling just as bad as her. I'm not well off my damn self. But I noticed how the look on people's faces, not so much as if they'd have had the money or not, whether they could have helped or not, it's the look of they ain't give a fuck. Nobody cared that she was gonna leave baby food. It wasn't her baby food. Nobody cared. That's the part that bothered me, not that they didn't have the money.
The truth is, everybody's trying to survive. It's every. And then the sad part is you help these people, and a lot of the times they're not thankful. That's why you get to the point where you're just not gonna help people. There's been tons of times where you help people, and you get nothing back. Then you're just thinking like, what was the point of me doing that, Then you see stuff like this and you're not really worried because it's like, if I try to help her, she might go off on me. And I'm not taking that chance.
It was a look of, when she hurry up, she holding up the line. It was that look. She was holding up the line. It was like people more concerned about the line being held up than the fact that she didn't have $8.14 to buy this baby food. Nobody.
Unfortunately, you're right, man. They want her to move on. It's not even like they're trying to do what they're trying to do.
Kid. That didn't sit well with me. And then there was an elderly man. He had some Vienna sausage, some ramen noodles, and some other little knick-knack things. And he was counting out his money, and his hand was shaking. He was like that. Elderly white guy. So I like to hell with it. Add his to the tab too. His came out to be $4.24. Some ramen noodles. I said, man, you don't want nothing else? You sure you don't want nothing else? No, that's it. Thank you. $4.25 or 24 cents. So $8.14 for hers, $4.24 for his. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I told you I went out of $15 helping two people. $15. So as I thought of that, I was on my way to the car, like, hold on. Is it really like that?
For other people, it is. It's not always sunshines and roses. And I mean, we're all struggling, Especially now. I don't know what's changed in the air. I don't know. But things are rough, man. And people are just trying to do what they can to survive in this crazy place we call this world. From the car market to rent prices to just surviving every day. People don't have the time and the money to help out. It's just not gonna happen. I had to learn to stop helping people myself. Now, if I was in a position to where I work for myself and maybe things were, but I can't be helping people if I don't have it myself, I only have so much resources and I need to be careful with what I have. It's truly become survival of the fittest, Hunger Games, seriously. And I'm just another person in it, but best believe I'm going to try to my best, from this point.
And some came to my mind and said, you know what? We've been conditioned. We've been taught We've been trained to not care. Because if we can sit and watch this world we live in, the powers that be, have a world, create a world where nobody cares about babies and elderly. Hold on, y'all. No. We live in a world where people don't even care about the babies or old folks.
I do care about the children, but it's up to the parents to be on top of what they're doing. And I feel like that's a huge part of it. The parents have to be good examples. It can be nearly impossible, but you just gotta... That's why I'm paranoid. I have to keep trying because I'm scared something's gonna go wrong. You're never safe. Not in this world, at least. I don't know. Not in this world. You'll never be fully safe where you can just be yourself and live life and enjoy. You're gonna have to work hard at something. It's crazy out here, man. Just be safe and save up your money, and let's try to figure this out slowly but surely. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Peace.